There are now a total of 30 plus levels in Escape to Backrooms now, and it's just going to get bigger, bigger, and bigger. Welcome back to the ranking of every Escape to Backrooms level from worst to best, because there's always a new level in every update, and adding new levels only makes the previous videos outdated. So for those who are not caught up, the game did get released from its early access club since it's going to get a console port later this year. But giving the game full access perms, also giving it different endings, and of course, new levels. Which means I would have to redo this entire video again, starting with Pipe Dreams. This level did not change at all. It is still the straight long hallway that I have always disliked. Not only that this is the most disappointing level in the game still, this is actually the most disappointing adaptation of every Backrooms media ever existed. Even the Wiki's version is better. This opinion came up when I decided to give either Backrooms Destruction or Backrooms Escape together a try, and guess what? Pipe Dreams is an actual level! I know Fancy said he won't go back and enhance levels due to the fact he must start over and redo it all, but I really hope he rethinks this decision and releases an entire update that reworks all the problematic levels like the cave system. The cave system did get one change, and that was buffing the skin sealers, which, I'm gonna be real with you, I am not a fan of it. I thought the skin sealers were fine in that level. Now their spawn placements have been updated so you cannot do your little strat that you've always done since you played it in early access. The level is now near impossible to complete, as the skin seal is now spawned closer to the checkpoint, punishing you even playing the level in the first place. I'm very disappointed by this change, which is why it is now lower on the list than it was before. The only playable sections in the cave system now are just the two first zones, which all have the boss in it. The Neon Paradise. So, the Neon Paradise is in the name. It's a neon utopia that's supposed to send you back to the front rooms, which the game does now, and sends you back to the front rooms as soon as you beat the game. But I really wish level 3999 was larger and had more things to do. It does sort of follow the wiki description now. The level does send you to other levels to complete tasks, but the level doesn't tell you that. And the new Meg Bunker does this, which I guess is connected to level 3999 now. It just would have been really cool to see something like this, you know. The stairs. So the stairs didn't change at all, but the way it was presented did. The stairs used to be the level where you entered right after you send that gray, blind, skinny, ugly looking guy to the ceiling dimension, where she can face all the consequences of her very broken AI script. But now the stairs can be entered through level 1 during the Smiler section. Now the stairs can be very still to replay, as all you are doing is walking up the stairs, but there's now an extra ending that you can get by playing the game's most boring level ever, so I guess it is worth playing after all. The Eternal Suburbia. Okay, so this isn't what the name of level 94 is called, but I think it's a better name than Motion. Like, what is in motion at this level exactly, other than the dynamic skybox changing? Also, I didn't come up with the name, the devs of Dreamcore and Lost in the Hyperspace did, and I thank both of those guys for giving the level a fitting name. Anyways, the Eternal Suburbia is really nothing but a walking sim, and at night the game tells you to stop playing and touch some grass in real life. It's one of those levels where all you do is admire the scenery while traveling through a conveniently placed floating castle that is just in the sky. I feel really bad for the people who live in this neighborhood. They can't enjoy any privacy. Also, once you make it to the castle, you must confront Ronald McDonald, who is the second to last boss fight, and all the boss fight really is just moving around side to side. The school. So the school level feels more like a filler level than anything really. It's supposed to be a continuation of Level Fun Plus, and doesn't really feel like a level that you would replay every time. And also doesn't feel like a proper level at all. The entire level is to follow a party pooper to pray none of one of those yellow monsters spots you using your X-ray vision, because that's the thing that happens near the beginning of the level. There isn't really much to say about this level, as there isn't really anything that happens in this level. You're here just to see the aftermath of the Fun War, which is the thing that happened in the Backrooms universe. Thalassophobia. The fish is still broken. Well, either the fish was scrapped or the fish is still broken and never made it into the full release of the game. So Thalassophobia is still the same level from 2 updates ago. You swim towards the obvious lighthouse or the obvious fog, and you take a deep dive down and document a giant fish for the Discovery Channel to write a 70-paragraph essay about, so the potential members of the science team will celebrate and discuss about it for over the next 5 decades. By the way, the second section isn't really that hard to complete, as the exit is right next to spawn. Just turn left after getting out of the cage and you'll see a giant rock, not the arch rock, but a giant rock that you can go under and then you'll find the exit. The pool rooms. The pool rooms is one of the very first levels to drop in the game, and it is still really short, but there's a slide now, but you can't really slide on it. The pool rooms are very relaxing and nothing really goes on, except if you wander into the darkness where you'll never be seen again. It is such a scenery to look at, and I could go on about the pool rooms, but do you know what level is even more relaxing according to me? The grass rooms. The grass rooms are so very chill that you aren't allowed to chill in it at all, and if you try to relax in the grass rooms, you become the grass rooms. This is one of the newer levels that was released, and I really love the satisfying environment that the grass rooms brings to you. Though out of the 3 new levels that were released in the new update, this is probably the most disappointing level out of them all, and only because of how linear and short the level was. The level did tease more levels in the future, like the Endless City. While I still do adore the grass rooms, I just think it was a bit disappointing to see how it was executed. And it wasn't terrible, it was just kind of mid. Level 0. Level 0 is the first level of the game, or any Backrooms game that is, and it is great for starting off, but it's not something I replay, as it can get really stale after playing it over and over and over again, because after all, it is the first level of the entire game. Plus, if you wait long enough, you get a special visitor that will look for you everywhere and will just want to give you a hug and then leave. There is the possible of 2 exits, but it would be really cool if the bottom exit took you to an entirely new level instead of level 1. But other than that, level 0 is a really great starting level, just not a level I would replay. Level The End. Level The End is the most comedic level ever invented. The funny is that the thing that is inside that level knows where you are at all times. And there are barely any hiding places, which means you must stay quiet at all times. Not only that, this is the most funniest level ever invented. This is one of the best library simulators ever created. Level The End is not the final level. In fact, it is far from being the final level. The level is an entire fetch quest simulator where you must collect all the tapes and punch them inside a PC in order for it to open a door, because the library lost its budget to open an interdimensional portal. It's still a tedious level to complete, but overall, getting mad at dying to the librarian owner is part of the fun, until it's not. You know a level that is actually fun? Level Fun! Yes, the original Level Fun. The level where all of the walls are the same color, orange. This version of Level Fun is really dangerous and short. You must sneak past all the party goers without getting spot, or just rush it and hope you get to the end without dying once. There is a better version of the level later on in the game. This entire level is very slow, and I don't really like slow. I prefer fast, which you can do fast. You just need to know how to do it right in the timing and pace and all that. And did I mention this level was fun? The tunnel level. The tunnel level is the last level before you get the wrong door ending, and it is also one of the most difficult levels in the game, especially when you're trying to complete in replay mode. And if you are, then pray that you're actually gonna complete the level, or just follow 3 stories and break all your bones. That works too, because there's no option to turn that permadeath mode off. You are stuck with it. The tunnels have 3 layers. My biggest issue with the level is that taking pictures of the monsters can likely get you killed, and it's really impossible to outlive it, especially on the lowest level where you have all the smilers who hate photographers and those have a fear of camera light for some reason. That layer has a skin sealer that will run like it's participating in a marathon at you. I believe if the 2 monsters picture tasks were replaced by screenshotting, something else, then outside this level is worth it, though it is nice to replay at time to time. Level Run. The original Level Run is a very chaotic race to the finish while the entire hospital staff and patients try to chase you down the hall for failing to pay your health insurance. While Level Run does have a ton of obstacles and turns to avoid to move around, the hallway is just a straight line. There is a future level further down in the game that fixes every issue this version of Level Run has. This is definitely one of the better levels from the original that was released in the game's first early access launch, but it's cool to see more adaptations of this level come to be. I love Level Run, but this version could be better. The Terror Hotel. The hotel is one of the most lengthy levels of the game, and there are 3 parts to it. This first part is actually the easiest section. all I do is spray the anti-boss spray and turn into a yellow jelly, and the best part of it is that you can't have it! That's right, you must feed the jelly to the jelly gods, and they will be pleased with your choice of flavor you gave to them. And they will simply hand you over a key to move on to the second zone. And guess what? Zone 2 sucks. Why? Because you gave the jelly gods the wrong flavor. It's so bad that there's a skip that I mentioned before in my previous videos, that if you type in the 3 codes that I have on my screen, one of them will work, and you can skip the entire level completely. Now that's out of the way, here comes Zone 3. Now personally, I don't find this part as bad, but I'm aware others might disagree. All this is really just memorization. Once you know a path, it becomes really easy to get out of. Other than that, the hotel level is an okay level in my opinion, but becomes really good if you skip Zone 2. Overgrown. Overgrown is the second newest level on the list, and it's basically where the tall stick people are born and inhabit. This is the level where you're committing murder. No, really, that's what you actually have to do in this level. And I actually feel bad for the people that you actually have to kill in order to complete the level, as if you couldn't tell, they've been through way too much. The level is actually much more difficult as it sounds, and there are way too many bacteria stick people in the level, and I thought there were only 2, but I saw 3 and realized how much I was so screwed. Not to mention, sometimes the vent areas can get very bugged, as I got a few times. You can enter all of them, but sometimes the bacteria monster will not leave you alone until you come out of your hiding spot. The Suburbs. The Suburbs is the second longest level of the game. This is the level where you must break into 3 homes in order to hack 3 random PCs because the plot of the game told you to do so. This level is much more enjoyable than playing story mode, as you can just restart the level after hacking a PC, so you don't meet your new friend who probably does not like you. Otherwise, if you're playing this on replay mode, pray that you make it out before you get spotted, as you would need to repeat the process 2 more times in order to make it to the basement. Yes, this level actually is more tedious to play in replay mode than it is to do it in story mode. There's also a second part where you realize that the unskippable ads have made it into video games. I honestly like this section more than the surface section of the game, as it has a better game design and it's much more cleaner, and the layout is much more manageable for wandering AI that is in this level. There's also more space and hiding spots to avoid the little wretch that is searching for a cure that you are preparing, and if you're lucky enough, you might spot him checking on your little science experiment.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
The Habitable Zone. The Habitable Zone is the second level of the entire game, and I don't think it's a bad level. I do find it more enjoyable than level 0, as there's a ton of more stuff to see and look around. It does introduce the skin stealers, and by the way, this is the only level where skin stealers actually play fair with you. I also noticed that they're also less likely to camp that far room. I may be wrong, I've only played it in story twice in the full version of the game. I've been playing this in replay mode ever since it got added. The second section doesn't have any changes except the fact you can actually go up in the second floor, where I think it should have given you a flashlight, because it is really pitch black up there, and there's a door to an alternate ending, but since there's not a place to grab a flashlight, the game is literally telling you to enter the darkness. The Abandoned Office. The Abandoned Office is one of the chill levels, and is a great place to restock on supplies, as you can now access it for the hub. In the recent update, the Abandoned Office has added the window people in the level, which is if you go near them, they will snatch you and take you to meet its family, and they have a lovely family, trust me. I love the ambiance and the vibe the Abandoned Office has. This isn't just an escape to Backrooms, I'm talking about the level in general. It's a really nice level, especially with the addition of the window people. I also really love the Easter egg of the website that gives you a PC virus. I think it's a really cool addition. Yes, I am aware it existed for a while, but it would be really cool for it to have its own quality of life achievement just by discovering it. The Bumper Crop. Level 10 is a very atmospheric level that I personally enjoy, but it helps to understand the adult facelings are actually very friendly. I can tell that Fancy wanted to add a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reference. While level 10 is a fun level replay, I do think it could get reworked, as I did do research on the level, and apparently what I think could make level 10 a bit more challenging is adding the worms at level 10. Now, these worms like to hide in soil, and they act like a trip hazard. I think would have been a great addition to level 10 as a possible trap. while you got an insane cycle with a chainsaw chasing right after you. Other than that, level 10 is a pretty solid level, and I think the worms would make a great addition to make the level more replayable. Lights Out. Lights Out is a great level, but it now feels outdated compared to the new levels that were added like Fun Plus and even Kitty's House. Lights Out introduces a really cool mechanic called the LiDAR scanner, which you will never see again after playing this level. The scanner scans these dots, which will make it easier to see in the void. The logic on how the flashlight will not emit to the dark hall is very uncalled for, and it makes no sense. Then again, nothing in the backgrounds makes sense. This is also the level which introduces the wrench, which I am glad doesn't stalk you for the entire LiDAR section of the level, as the halls are very tight and there's not enough space to escape the evil red man. The Dark Pool Rooms. The Dark Pool Rooms is actually the longest level in the game with 3 sections, and it's basically the upgraded version of the pool rooms from earlier. Playing this level in story mode is very tedious, but I do find playing this level in replay mode more enjoyable, except for the fact you die once in the level, you have to restart the entire thing all over again. I really love the atmosphere, and I really love the addition of the clump, who I think is the scariest Backrooms entity in this game. That I know of, that is. There's one small issue I have with this level, is that you cannot cancel the turning of the valve when you're about to be chased by a clump, so basically the game is telling you to accept your fate. Dark Pool Rooms is a big upgrade to the pool rooms, but it is a bit too lengthy, and it's really easy to get killed while doing a task. Level 188, or as most people call it, the Liminal Hotel, is one of the best levels in the game, and it's also the only level in the game where you can actually visit in real life. The only downside is that the manager isn't a giant furry spider with a cow skull. Level 188 makes you do wizardry with electronics, which isn't a big deal at all, unless the TV spawn in the corner, and you might as well quit the game, as that is the worst spot the TVs could spawn. I also noticed that they shaved the spider's legs, and now they are very shiny, which I don't like. I actually like the fact the giant ended spider actually had fur. It might have been due to the optimization, because this is the only level that has level streaming. Level 188 is a great level, and I'm glad it's been executed very well. The Danger Zone. The Danger Zone is basically level 0, but better, and it's by far one of the most replayable levels in the entire game. I love the idea of transversing through different sections in one level. I think it is a really cool and unique idea. This is also the level that introduced a new mechanic for Smilers, and its ability to fear the light.
Give me your money.
The entire goal is to turn all the breakers on in order to shut a door on the bone thief so it won't be able to steal your bones, because it is not nice to steal people's bones. This is the Snack Rooms, a free supply of literally everything. The Electrical Station. The Electrical Station is technically the third real level of the game. We don't talk about pipe dreams. This, in my opinion, is one of the best adaptations of the level. I think Fancy has really cooked on how the Electrical Station behaves. They did remove the ability for the disappearing dog to, you know, disappear. Which I'm very disappointed about, because I thought it was really funny, and thought that should have been kept. Because, you know, it was funny. The level does become more engaging on harder difficulties, because on the harder difficulties, the dog will only get blinded once and will ignore all flashlight logic, and it will attempt to attack you, which makes the level feel more fast-paced, which I really like. So turn your difficulty up if you want to get an insane experience. Water Damage. Water Damage, or level 0 point level, is a sub-level of level 0, and it's basically the better version of level 0, as you're actually doing things in this level. And the bacteria is an actual character and not an Easter egg for idling level 0 for over 5 minutes. This level was once going to be level 188, but apparently the look was way too bland, so it got turned into Water Damage, which was the better option. Because the Liminal Hotel environment we got looks way better, and it looks like an actual hotel. I love how the level is set up, but the pacing is a bit slow, but it's mostly due to how slow the stick figure walks, because he cannot use his legs at all. Kitty's House.
The demons, they're after me. They watch me, they're in my head. The demons are in my head. Don't do it, I shall me. Fuck you up. Stop. That's me. Stop.
Kitty's house has been in development hell since the game launched, and it's since been the level has been worn down into abandonment, leaving Kitty to go insane, where she now possesses a very original mechanic, but with an extra step. Kitty's house was definitely worth the wait, with Kitty constantly stalking you from collecting her quote-unquote children, when all you're doing is exploiting Kitty for the weird creep she really is. I really enjoyed Kitty's house, but I think it can be a bit difficult to lose track on her sometimes. The Hotel Run. This level is peak. This level is absolute cinema. Like, this is one of the easily the most chaotic levels of the entire game. This is what level run should have been. Tons of turns, a banging soundtrack, and enemies screwing up your path. Now, why is this not on number 1 on the list? Because you're supposed to follow the blue rooms, which the level gives you near the end. Not sure this is meant to be a difficulty thing, but it would be nice to have better navigation near the end. Other than that, the constant chase and the no stops of this level makes this much more enjoyable than ever. Level Fun Plus. Fun Plus still keeps the crown of being the best level of the entire game, with tons of various things to do. This is the only level where it feels like you're actually playing an actual game instead of doing a chore. You even got the best song, You Day, playing in the background.
Fasten your seatbelts, we're going to eat ceilings. You day. Better use your mucus cause you'll wish your name was Christopher. Your own you day, that's your day.
And the environment does some major job at capturing an idea of a childhood nostalgic place, which is what Level Fun really is supposed to be doing. There are other adaptations that also succeeds at this. As you can see, this is how you make Level Fun actually fun. And that is all the levels that are in Skate the Backrooms for now. With the help of Sticker Mode, updates should be rolling more constantly and new levels should be introduced, like for the upcoming Endless City. And I hope you enjoy watching the new version of this, as I'm gonna have to remake it again in the future. And I will see you next time.